Alright, in this video I wanted to go over a couple of the things you need to know about getting your programming downloaded and compiled onto your Android phone. So one of the things is, in your program, you need to make sure your configuration is going to match for your robot configuration when you plug it into your components of your robot. So if you go to the configurator over here, you'll see there's a few things you can adjust. Some things you can't. There's no icon there, you can't adjust that. But if there's a little icon here, that means you can open that up and you can see and change what that's being called. The first thing I notice is that this is all lowercase, left underscore drive. Be careful because here the label says uppercase left underscore drive, so that threw me the first time. But those two things can be changed to match your robot configuration. The other things are your output. Now these you can't get rid of at this point in time, so you're going to have that configured on your robot. Same thing, you can change the name of it, and you have your two servos, same thing there. And your output sensors, you have a touch sensor and a couple optical distance sensors set up, and a gyro sensor. However, if you're just doing a simple program, you're not going to use those or don't have those set up on your robot. Those you're able to remove, so you can just click delete and delete any of those things that you're not using. So in my example here, I'm just doing a simple drive. I'm going to leave the touch sensor in place, but take all the other sensors off. So right now I just have that touch sensor. Again, the pencil will let me change what that's called. So sensor underscore touch, all lowercase, is what it's currently called. So when I configure it on my robot, I need to make sure I configure it the same way. Okay. So once you have your configuration set correctly and you've written a simple program, this one just drives forward and then turns around and then drives backwards, you're going to go ahead and compile that down to the robot. And what that will do is create a program, an APK file that will download to your computer. And you need to get that file onto your phone. That's kind of the missing instructions in the tutorial video of how to make that happen. When you're using Android Studio, it works pretty straightforward. You just compile it and it puts it right on the phone automatically. With Coderz, however, it's going to download it to your computer. And so you do need to set up your phone, and let me show you that here real quickly, to make sure that it will connect and you can put that file on there. So first thing you need to do is go into your settings and scroll down to your connect to computer, and generally you have that set to charge only, but you'll want to change that to media device so that when you plug in your USB cable to your computer, you'll be able to recognize your phone on your computer and transfer files that are downloaded onto your phone. The other thing you need to make sure to do is, if you already have an existing FTC robot controller app on your phone, you'll need to go to your apps and uninstall that, because it won't uninstall automatically or install over the top of it like Android Studio does. So you have to come up and uninstall your robot controller app, because you're going to replace that with the version that you're creating with Coderz. So those are the two things that you need to do on your phone. And now let's go back and take a look here. It has downloaded the program. It just calls it Coderz Snapdragon APK file. And so if we open that up in its folder, let's put that over here, you should be able to see that the phone is connected to your computer. So here's my downloads, and there's my program right there. And I'm going to open up my phone, and I have a downloads folder on my phone. That's usually the best place to put it, so I can just take that and copy it over into the download folder, confirm that it's there, and there it is. A couple other versions since I've been practicing, and that is how you get the application onto your phone. Okay, so now that the application's on your phone, you're able to come back over to the phone and install that application. So you have to navigate to where your downloads are. So I use the File Manager tool on the phone to navigate, and this is I just scroll over till I'm on the phone, and there's those same folders that I saw before. I go to the downloads folder, and there's the different versions, so it would behoove you to kind of make sure you're naming your program the right thing, so you can keep track of which one's which. The one we just downloaded was called Coderz Snapdragon APK, just number 1, not number 2, or not my op mode. So select that, and then you go through the install process. Say that you want to install it, and go ahead and install it. This is where if you don't remove it before you install it, it will pop up a warning or an error saying that it can't install because something already exists. So make sure you uninstall it before you reinstall it. And ideally, with the simulation ability of Coderz, you should be able to make sure that your program's running pretty well before you have to install it onto your robot to try it out on the physical robot. So those are the things that you need to know in order to get your code from Coderz onto your phone and installed and ready to go. At this point, I can now take this phone, plug it into my robot, make sure I've got my robot configured to match the configuration that I did on my configurator over here, and connect it to a driver station phone, and everything should run just perfectly. Hopefully that helps out with understanding how to get that Coderz program onto your phone and play around with that. So far, for me, it's worked pretty well.